carry on with the shooting method. We will discuss the application of the shooting method into second order ordinary differential equations. To solve this second order ODE, we need to rewrite it as a different form in terms of the two first order ODEs. Okay, to be able to solve using the shooting method. This can be achieved by introducing a new variable, which is the derivative of the first variable. Assume a second order ODE as shown in here. So we introduce dy over dz is equal x1. Then we can change these equations in terms of this. Okay, dy over dz plus a1 dy over dz plus a2y is equal b. Okay, and then putting in that one, that we will get dx1 over dz plus a1 x1 plus a2y equal b. So the first equations will be these equations in here as written in here. The second one, we need to make sure that we put these two terms into the right hand side, so we have the same form. Dx1 over dz is equal minus a1 x1 minus a2y plus b. So we have this one as the second equation. Okay. Then for a particular example in here is a tubular reactor with dispersion. Let's consider a case where a tubular reactor has a plug flow velocity profile, an axial dispersion, and a first order reaction that occurs. Dispersion in here describes the microscopic mixing of small elements caused by small scale turbulent effects. The dispersion term can be modeled as the second order derivative of the concentration gradient and scaled by the dispersion coefficient d. A steady state material balance in the reactor axial space dimension becomes this with the two boundary conditions in here. The details are given in your additional materials. Okay, as I show in here. Okay, consider your system has something like this, then you will have inlet components, the outlet components, and the consumption components. Make sure that all the units consistent as shown in here. Okay, so everything will be in terms of the kilogram mole per second. Okay, check the units as given in here. If we divide by a multiplied by delta z and then take the limit as delta z approaching 0, and then we substitute the fixed first law using an axial dispersion diffusion coefficient, and then we continue as is shown in here, we'll get these equations in here. Okay, and then we want to change these equations into two first order ordinary differential equations. So we define x1 is equal dc over dz. Then we will have these two equations in here. Okay, and then the boundary conditions, we need to inspect the physical significance. So at z equals 0, no diffusion in the fourth section of the reactor, but there is dispersion in the reaction zone. So we need to equalize these things in the inlet, and then we will have these equations basically, which is expressed in terms of this in the MATLAB code. And then at z equal L, the reaction is terminated, therefore the concentration gradient is 0. So we have this one, which can be expressed in the MATLAB in terms of x1 is equal 0. I give you in this additional materials, and you want to look at it yourself. Okay, let me go back again into my slides in here. Okay, this one is given already in as is shown in the additional materials, and you want to verify this change from the second order into the two first order ODE and the boundary conditions. Then we can use this MATLAB code called a TubeX in here to define the model for the tubular reactor. So in here is basically expressing the two first order ODEs in here, okay, with the input of time and then the x, okay. X in here consisting of basically you see in here x in here is the two different variables in here, okay, the x1 in here and then the concentrations, okay. And then we define another functions that calculates the residual, the concentration derivative that is 0 at the outlet, and plots the concentration versus the reactor length. If we run these things using an F0, which basically repeat the iterations using the residual functions in here, and then in turns the residual, the Van-Check function in here using the ODE23 to calculate the function profile using an ODE solver, okay, which is a combination of the second and the third Runge-Kutta. Then we will get this concentration profile as a function of the reactor length. The detail of this is given in the additional material, okay, that I also add into your canvas as well, okay. The detail is given in here. So this t in here is actually z, and then this x in here consists of two different variables, the concentration and the derivative of the concentrations. And then this line in here give the line in here give the value, and in here is basically just giving the two first order ordinary differential equations, okay. On the other hand, if we go with this residual calculated by Van-Check, then we for this particular line calculate the initial gas for x1 from the initial gas for C0, okay. And then we use the ODE solver in here, and then we want to get this xn in here is the final component of the derivative of the concentration, okay. And then this will be defined as the residual in here, okay. As the initial gas we use the C0 in here, okay. So the residual will calculate the value of the last data for the derivative of the concentration, okay. In essence, we basically calculate the value of the concentrations at the inlet that give a derivative of the concentrations at the outlet, which is 0, okay. You can either use an F0 or you can use a new sol in here. So in here I give a little bit of illustration. If you have the Z is equal 1 to 3 4 5, we calculate the size of the Z, and then Y is equal 1 to 5, and then Z will be equal to max of this. So for this particular example, the value of the concentration that give the derivative at the outlet, which is 0, is equal to 0.6182 as is shown in your slide, okay. If we go in here, this will be this value in here. So this value is 0.6182 is the one that give the derivative at the outlet equal to 0. Okay, with this I conclude this part of the video for the week 8 process modeling. I will continue the discussions on the next one. Thank you.